Howdy, and welcome back to Beyond the Pew. My name is Taylor, and this week we're talking about saints. It's a great week to be doing that as we celebrate Halloween this week, All Saints Day, All Souls Day. One of my favorite things about this time of year is seeing what everybody dresses up as. So I took my kids to the College Station trick-or-treat party the other day, and I saw all these kids dressed up in crazy costumes, and a lot of them were superheroes. Your Iron Mans and your Wolverine and Spider-Man. I also saw some of like everyday heroes. My son was a firefighter. So we have these people that we celebrate as these superheroes, and why? It's because we look up to them. They stand for something great, and there's somebody that we can that are role models for us that we can look up to. So in the church, we have these people who are our superheroes, and those are the saints. They're people who have come before us, who have lived holy lives, who have had the same call that you and I have, and have lived up to that call, and they're great role models for us. They are our superheroes. So what is a saint? A saint literally means somebody who's set apart, so one of the holy ones. So people who we know as saints, who actually have that name, that title before their name, are people who are in heaven now, and this has been confirmed because people have asked for their intercession once they are in heaven, and those prayers have been answered. So we know without a shadow of a doubt that those people are in heaven. So these people are role models in our faith. They live similar lives that we do. They had the same struggles that we do, but they answered this great call that we have. In the book of 1 John, it talks about what you and I are called to. We are called to be holy as the Heavenly Father is holy, to be perfect as the Heavenly Father is perfect, and to not sin. That's the call. When John was writing this letter, he was like, I'm writing this to you so that you don't sin. That's our goal, right? So the baseball playoffs are going on right now, and I've been thinking about these Hall of Fame pitchers, right? So the goal of a pitcher every time he goes out is to pitch a perfect game. It's to get every single batter he faces out, pitch all 9 innings. That's a complete and perfect game. That's the goal every single time. But these Hall of Fame pitchers, they give up an average of 2, 3, or 4 runs every 9 innings. Those are the best ones of all time. But at the same time, their goal every time was to be perfect, yet they didn't often get there. But how ridiculous would it be if they were like, oh, you know what, I'm going to go out and give up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 runs today. Like, that would be absolutely absurd. Their goal was to be perfect. And that's what this book in 1 John is calling us to. We are called to be perfect, to be without sin. And you're sitting here watching this like, well, I've sinned 3 times since starting to watch this video, right? But we have all sinned. We've all fallen short of the glory of God. But right in that same passage in 1 John, it says that God knew this. And he said that even when we sin, we need to come before God and to ask for forgiveness, right? So the Hall of Fame pitchers are the role models for pitchers. Our Hall of Fame, our superheroes, the saints, are our models for how we are supposed to live. We're supposed to strive for greatness, strive for perfection, just as the saints did, but then also knowing at the same time that whenever we mess up, we need God, we need to ask for forgiveness. So another aspect of the saints that people have questions about is, okay, why do Catholics pray to saints? Why do we have this celebration of All Saints Day and All Souls Day, right? So if you were a friend of mine, I can ask you to pray for me. And I would trust that you would. I know that I've been asked for other people have asked me to pray for them, and sometimes I forget, right? Also, like I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect prayer, but we have these people in heaven whose sole job it is to worship God and to intercede on our behalf, right? So a lot of people think this is kind of weird. It's like, oh, these people are dead. Why are you praying to dead people? But we know in our faith that death isn't the end. All death is the separation of the body and the spirit. So these people go up to heaven. They're not dead. They're actually fully alive. Like, people in heaven are more alive and closer to God and united with their purpose than you and I are. So just like I could ask my friend I could ask you to pray for me, I can also ask these saints to pray for me. as well. So this week, as you're enjoying your costumes, you're enjoying the candy that you got the other day, I would just ask you to sit down with your kids and ask them who their superheroes are and why they look up to those people. And then you can just share a little bit about your favorite saint or about a saint that you've heard of, maybe even your confirmation saint, and just to share with them and sit together as a family and ask for the intercession of that saint. We'll be back next week with Beyond the Pew.